Hello, welcome back to Mindful Monday. I'm so sorry that I missed last week. I was just feeling a little under the weather, so I chose to take some time to rest up. However, feeling much better this week, so I thought I would come back and I thought I would share another technique, obviously, with you that can help with when we're feeling anxious or we're feeling the feelings of stress and anxiety. So, something that you can use in the moment, but it's also something that you can use as a more longer term practice to actually help you develop a mindfulness practice, a meditation style practice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the information in this video, and then I'm going to upload a separate video, and that is actually going to be what we do today, but I'm actually going to turn it into a longer meditation so that you can do the technique that we learned today or we discussed today, and you can then turn that into a meditation practice to take away with you. So this one is called, as you can see, 5 4 3 2 1 technique. I first learned this a few years ago in Malta. I was undergoing some talking therapy, and I was suffering from a lot of anxiety at the time. And they gave me this to get me back on track with the mindfulness and meditation practice, but also as something that I could do if I was feeling particularly overwhelmed. So what is 5 4 3 2 1 technique? It's basically a grounding technique that's designed to help pull us back into the present moment when we're feeling those physical symptoms of stress, those physical symptoms of anxiety. So our body is being affected, our heart rate is going up, maybe we're feeling flushed, maybe our body temperature is increasing, but more likely you're going to have racing thoughts as well. So if you're feeling these racing thoughts, what happens then is you're pulled out of the present moment, and when you're pulled out of the present moment, it's obviously a lot harder to overcome those feelings of stress and anxiety. So what you can do is you can use this technique to help pull you back into the present moment. It's called a grounding technique because we're going to use all of our physical senses, all 5 of our senses. So we're going to be using our taste, our hearing, our sense of smell, our touch, and what we can see. So we're going to be using all of those. So the 5 refers to the 5 things we can see. So with this, it's not like you have to have your eyes closed. Same with some of the breathing techniques I've shown you before. You don't have to have your eyes closed for this. If you are actively feeling anxious or stressed, you can do this with your eyes open. First one, 5 things you can see. The second one after that is 4 things that you can feel. Then after that, we're going to have 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that we can smell, and 1 thing we can taste. Now, obviously, when we're in a space like this, so for example, I'm in my bedroom, I might not be able to necessarily hear a lot, but sometimes when you actually start and actually sit in the silence, you can actually start to hear other things. So maybe you can actually hear your own breath. Maybe you can feel your pulse, or you can hear the kind of blood rushing around the system sometimes that you get when it's quiet. Maybe you can start to pick up a little bit of traffic out on the streets that normally you wouldn't hear. Normally you think, oh, it's nice and quiet, but actually once you become fully present in that silence, or what you think is silence, you can start to hear things that you didn't think you could hear. And mindful listening is amazing, and I'm going to do another video on mindful listening because that's something that's really helped me before. So obviously that's it. There's not really a lot more I can say to it. It's 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel. So when obviously seeing is fairly obvious, feel, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go and get things to physically feel. For example, I'm sat on the floor, or maybe you're sat in a chair. You know, if you do want to close your eyes, if it's comfortable and safe for you to do so, maybe you could feel the points where, you know, your feet or your buttocks is making contact with the floor. Maybe you can feel So for example, I've got a tight waistband on, maybe I can feel the tightness of my waistband. I can feel the glasses pressing against my nose. So don't feel you have to, or don't think that you have to run off and grab a whole load of different items in order to do this. Maybe you could just feel the texture of the top that you're wearing. Really, really, really simple. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Obviously, hearing we've discussed. Smelling, again, when you're in a still space, you may not be able to smell a lot. And if you're struggling, and this all apply with taste as well, if you're struggling with those senses because maybe you haven't had anything for a while, then, or you haven't smelt anything for a while because you're in quite a neutral environment, then again, maybe try to imagine something that you can smell. Maybe imagine or remember a flavor that you really like and that brings you happiness. At the end of the day, this is supposed to bring you out of anxiety, bring you out of feelings of being overwhelmed. So remembering something enjoyable is only going to be of a benefit to you. So when we do these things, and with the vision one as well, with the things that we can see, it's really nice to actually, like I say, so if you want to do this, you can do it as an immediate practice. So say, for example, you are standing in a queue in a shop and you're starting to feel anxious and overwhelmed. It's really simple for you to just be like, okay, 5. What 5 things can you see around you? What 4 things can you feel? Maybe you can feel the texture of your top, again, very subtle. Maybe you can feel your hair, again, very subtle. Just observe some words that might describe how that feels. Your wallet, something that you're holding. If you're in the queue for a shop, you've probably got something, so something that you're holding. Again, hearing 3 things that you can hear. Now, if you're at home and you're doing this as a meditation practice, that might take longer, which is good. It's going to kind of work out. And then smell and taste, we've said about as well, 2 things you can smell and 1 thing that you can taste. So maybe that's taking a sip of water, maybe taking a sip of tea. So this is how we can actually start to create a really mindful meditation out of this. So I'm going to do a meditation video separately, but spend time really, if you want to get 5 things, say you go out for a walk and you can do this on a walk, take a nice drink with you, job done. You can find a leaf and really, when they first explained this technique to me, really look at the leaf. Don't just be like, yep, it's a leaf. Look at the veins of the leaf, look at the colors of the leaf, because it's not just going to be one shade. You're going to find multiple shades. The veins in the leaf, they're not going to just be like one vein through the middle. You're probably going to find these really slight little tendrils going off from there. So really, really notice what you can see. Okay, so like I say, just a really short video for you guys today, just to explain what is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. 5 things we can see, 4 things we can feel, 3 things we can hear, 2 things we can smell, 1 thing we can taste. I am going to write a blog post and I'm going to put a few things on Instagram. So if you're not sure, because obviously trying to remember, like, okay, is it 4 things I can smell, 3 things I can smell? You can have screenshot it and then you can just have it on your phone. So like I say, it's a really beautiful activity to do out on a walk. Like I say, take a nice glass of or a nice drink with you, so you've got something to taste that you enjoy. You're outside in nature, so there's probably going to be plenty of things for you to smell and to hear, and then obviously to see and to feel. So I'm going to put together a meditation video. I'm going to release it slightly later in the week, and I will put some sounds and I will put some imagery on there for you, so you can just do it whilst doing it. But obviously you may need to bring some extra things to it, so some tactile things and maybe something to taste and to smell. But I'm going to do a whole how to turn this into a meditation post and video. So thank you again for joining me. Next week we're going to look at some breathing exercises and other breathing exercises for cooling and calming. So we're going to do that next week. Have a beautiful week in the meantime. See you soon. Bye.